Hi, hello, good evening, and good day, whatever it is, wherever you are. We are Strat Chat, and we are so excited to finally be back down under discussing one of our favorite shows, Australian Survivor. I will say first thoughts, JLP sounding a little older, right? Um, Sorry, I don't feel like he has the same vigor and energy as he once did. Like he's sounding a little matured, if you will.
Wow.
That first thoughts, first thought. Listen, he's still a hottie, patooties. Like, but yeah, lots to get into. We're going to be discussing our draft picks, right? Because those were not publicized, other than on the Twitter/X. Because Kyle had a very bad stomach bug, so we weren't live for the draft. So that happened via text on the Saturday nights. So we'll be getting into those things, how we still feel about the teams that we drafted, and yeah, first thoughts going into this season. So let's kick this sucker off. Okay. Welcome back to the chat that we like to call Strat. This is Strat Chat. You can find us on all the socials at Strat Chat Pod. I am your boy Kyle Petty. Even though I have publicly on Twitter declared my love for the King Ferris. I don't want to hyphenate my name just yet. I want to make sure he doesn't say anything offensive to us before I align myself with this man. But I would say that's what it's where it's looking like it's going. That's what I think is going to be happening. We've got John Dunphy. Savova.
Sizova.
Who is this? Sizova. Who is this now?
Valeria.
So you are standing a selection on the team that we like to call petty. That's fantastic.
Yeah, not even on my draft. not even my draft team, but
yeah. She is a bombshell. That is really why I wanted her. She's super hot, and I just felt like her attitude would take her far in this game. There's like a strong, confident woman. She's not going to take anybody's tomfoolery, and she already has not, which we so love. And of course, we are joined by our other bestie, Gina Margino.
It is too early for me to decide who to stand.
I don't
even know anybody's name.
Right, exactly. I do know that Ferris's last name is Masal. I'm prepared. But
I was saying to the guys before, I have been confused all 3 episodes because I just cannot remember anybody's name. So I literally don't know who I like because I don't know anybody's name.
Well, I will just add, beside the fact that Valeria is just stunningly gorgeous, I also love the relationship that she has with Viola already. Yeah.
I
love the two of them very much, and that factors into my decision as well for who I decided to stand.
Very enjoyable. Right. They are very enjoyable. Where's the picture of Valeria? Here she is. This is her. When you look at those eyes, whew, oh my gosh, it took a second to even catch my breath after just pulling this up. My goodness gracious. I've only looked at this picture on my phone, didn't even realize how very stunning she was even in that. And there's Viola. Yeah, love her too. Also on Team Petty. So let's get into that. I gotta say, loving my draft team.
Solid team.
Actually, I'm sorry. I'm not loving everyone on this team.
To be fair, in your defense, just so everybody knows, we made these selections based on literally no information.
Literally nothing. Whatever we could find on the socials, except that I really did feel very strongly about Ferris. He is an HR manager. That obviously speaks to me, working in HR at like myself, that really spoke to me. Obviously, drop dead, stunningly gorgeous. So, like, I mean, what else do you want in a man? HR, hot as hell, good enough for me. Viola, definitely impressed by her physical prowess.
She is insane, dude.
Yeah, she is insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to say it's a little hard to stand behind Kelly and Alex. Okay. I do see why there was a movement to get Callie out of here. You know, she does seem like an irritant. And Alex, just his sheer cockiness. You know, I don't really do that. There's a way to be this cocky and this confident, and this man who just thinks, I don't know, yuckos.
It's wild how cocky some of these people are on like day 3. Like we just
it's
here.
like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, I'm so proud of myself. I feel like I'm running this game. I'm controlling this entire thing, and it's like, are you though? Right.
The only thing I would say in Alex's defense, and I agree with you. I'm not a huge Alex fan. But I remember, I think it was the premiere episode, somebody on the Rebels tribe, I don't even remember who it was now, but somebody else on the Rebels tribe like approached Alex being like, hey, you seem like the perfect guy to lead a group of rebels. So I feel like he has maybe early on been looked at. Not that that's the case 3 episodes in, but at least 1 episode in, it seemed like some members of the tribe maybe kind of treated him as he might be some kind of leader, which might have blown his head up a little bit early on. That's the only thing that I'll say about him, like why he might have felt, you know, that he could be cocky and kind of like arrogant. I think that some of the people in the tribe might have kind of like, you know, built him up a little bit too early. But I don't think that that's the case anymore. As we'll talk about as the stream goes on, because what we saw happen in episode 3. But I do think that like episode 1 anyway, when the rebels were riding high and dominating the Titans, I feel like some of the people in the Rebels tribe before trouble started saw Alex kind of as like a leader, not the leader maybe, but a leader.
I hear that. And I can definitely see that. I just think that, like, anybody who's watched one of these shows before, like, never mind how well versed you are, even in survival, just you watch any of these social strategy games, like, how could you possibly trust anything that anybody is saying until it's actually been tested? Like, you haven't even been tribal yet. You already are asserting yourself as some kind of leader because a couple people kind of like toss that out there. Like, you can't trust them.
Right.
And I get my issue with that. It's just the entitlement that he moves with is like so undeserved. None of it's been tested.
Yeah.
Let it get to your head, even if just a couple of people made these comments, and like I just wish you'd be a little bit smarter about that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. But I don't think it's uncommon in this type of game, like especially early on when you're seen as a leader and people are building you up. I think it's a fairly common thing that like that person that's getting all that attention is going to get cocky. I feel like we've seen that in shows time after time.
Right. And it's just very unattractive. It's very unattractive.
Yeah.
You know, so there's that. Team Dumphy has seen some troubles this week.
A couple hits.
This week. Yeah,
couple hits.
And honestly, I can't say I really contest either of them. I do call a little bit of bollocks on the Frankie thing. And we'll certainly get into that. But how do you feel about your team as a whole? You sticking by them? Anybody you would swap out?
I do like my team as a whole still. I like the people that I have left. I was bummed about the Frankie first boot. That sucked. Jess, if I had to pick one person on my team that I wouldn't have picked, and you can tell from this graphic that she was my last pick. Jess is the one person that I definitely am saying now that I wish I hadn't picked her.
Yeah, she stinks. She stinks.
But yeah, everyone else, I mean, Scott, we haven't seen much of at all. Tobias, Tobias, he's part of that cuddle crew with Alex and Peta and Sarah. But I do think that he's very strong. He's very strong. I don't think he's going to go anywhere for a little while. I like Winna. I do like Winna.
Winna, chicken dinner.
Yeah. Sarah, I don't know. I think I could see her sticking around for a while, but I don't know how long she's going to stick in. I don't know.
Okay.
And I love Eden. I told you guys during our draft because of the Star Wars references.
Right.
And then
Fantastic.
And then and he's just very fun and entertaining. And then Eileen, I don't really know yet. I feel like I haven't seen
I
enough
don't
of
know
her.
her yet, but I do like how she performed in that, get out of the water cage thing.
Oh, the cage, yeah.
Oh yeah,
She performed very well in there. I will tell you early thoughts on Tobias. I don't like all this stuff.
Oh, the L,
Oh,
yeah,
is
L
he?
for
I
loser.
couldn't see. This is where I have a
Mhm.
problem with not knowing people's names. I knew someone was doing it, but I can't ever pinpoint who it is.
I don't like that. I don't like
That's
that.
another thing. It's like from like the first challenge. It's like this is the first thing anybody has done in this game. Why are you already being shitty about it? Like,
Right. You have played a
the
challenge.
stakes are so low right now. Like,
Right. Yeah. Really, really irritating.
especially because it wasn't even like
Oh.
a I'm sorry. It wasn't even an immunity challenge. It was just a reward challenge. Like it was just like the first thing that they did like on the
Right.
island at all. It's like you have no safety and you're just like walking around being like,
Please.
I'm better than you. And it's like, all right, hold on.
I'm better than you. It's like that's so disgusting. Like I think if I was on the Titans, I would just charge the other side and just like bash his face in. Like, what are you doing? Put your fucking L down.
I've had enough.
Run it out. Here's Team Morgino. What do you think about this team here? You took a hit this week.
I
Well
did take a hit
deserved.
this week, and
Well
we will
deserved.
get into that.
Well
But
No.
honestly, aside from her, I mean, there are a couple of people that I feel like we haven't really seen anything from, but I like my team. Like I stand by it. Especially my first three picks were Kirby, Jaden, and Rihanna, and I'm feeling those three. Like I feel good about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, yeah, especially honestly for me, through these first 3 episodes, Kirby and Jaden, especially.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed with Miss Kirby.
Yeah.
Except, I mean, we'll get to it. Episode 3, some questionable behavior. I don't know is going to serve her so well long term. Be interesting to kind of get into that conversation, but definitely have some thoughts on Miss Kirby.
Mhm.
Okay.
Jaden, I feel like he's going to be a very late post-merge boot. A pre-merge boot, or he's going to be an early post-merge boot. This is not somebody that you want to get too far. Like, I understand the idea of keeping Jaden in around for a little while, make sure you're winning these challenges, you're a big, strong man. But at the same time, this is not somebody who you want to be able to win out at the end.
I don't know, but there are a lot of jacked people on this season.
There are,
But
he
not
just-
like Jaden though.
Right, he scares me. He would scare me.
Jaden, yeah, he is so strong. I mean,
Mhm.
I think he said that he competes in like strongman competitions.
Right,
Like,
that's what he
literally
does.
lifts cars.
Right.
Yeah.
The only thing with that though is that in that one, immunity competition, like he was, I think it was him and Viola who were up against, what was it, Ferris and Tobias, and like that did not seem to matter.
Yeah.
Strong man and Miss deadlifter of however many 90 pounds she keeps touting about.
But again, like she was the one to kind of lose that for that. Like it wasn't like Jaden losing it.
Right, but like
So I don't know that I would necessarily count that as like a strike on his prowess as much.
It may not be a hard strike on his, but it certainly is not a thumbs up. It's not a check.
I do think though that particular competition, like having to lift up all the coconuts in the basket, I feel like it might not. I think that Viola and Jaden are very strong, but I don't necessarily think it suits their like strengths. Like I think that they're both very strong over short. It's that competition to me was a marathon, not a race. So it was like, and I think that bigger, people with bigger muscles, like over time, like it's easier for them to like gas out when they have to. Like over like short bursts, they can lift way more than anybody else.
Yeah, but the
and like they're
endurance
much
is the
stronger than
problem.
anybody else. But exactly, and I think that like the combined team of like Tobias and who was it? Was it Tobias and Ferris?
There was Tobias and Ferris, yes,
yeah.
it was.
Right, Tobias and Ferris against Jaden and Viola. I think that's what it was. Really, was
Well,
like
either way, whatever the reason is, it still does at least kind of put you down as like maybe you're not necessarily the strongest person in terms of what is your barometer for that? Like, how do we measure that?
right. Because
Yeah.
I do feel like in Australian Survivor and US Survivor, I feel like we see a lot of the times like the bigger, stronger players in the endurance comps don't last as long as some of the smaller players. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like this was definitely an endurance comp. And I think while Jaden and Viola are two of the strongest people there, it doesn't necessarily suit them in like in an endurance comp where you have to last a long time.
No, but I also think it also counts as a mark against you in the fact that like they definitely Ferris and Tobias had a whole lot more coconuts in their basket for a much longer amount of time because it took the rebels such a long time to understand how to get the damn coconuts in the basket. So like
Yeah.
not only did you not last as long as them, they were really up against the wall far longer than even you were. So that time-wise, as far as when we were actually starting to feel a challenge, you fell super short there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
So sorry to the strong man. But first, episode 1, we started off with a bang. Every single episode had a blindside in it. And I find it wonderfully delicious. Let's see here. Oh, right out of the gate, we saw Nathan fucking up, right? We had this challenge right there on the seashore. You had to bring the fodder over here to light. You had to light your person up. We kind of saw something like this in the Traders, right? In season 1.
Yeah, that's right.
Fires at the top. You had to burn your little thing down first. It definitely looked like the Titans were going to lock this up. But Nathan said, no, we finna light this fire right now. And everybody said, no, hold on now, wait. Because Caroline was like, stop it now. And
he was like too excited to be like, I'm contributing.
Yeah,
he
wanted so bad to be the person to light things.
Mhm.
That's what he just wanted to be in charge. And that's which is so interesting about, these different groups here, right? Let's get into that too. So the Titans, these are people who are basically, they are, I don't know, the decision makers, right? These are the leaders in life, people who have had good triumphs and they feel great about themselves in career and life.
Titans of industry.
Yeah, right. These are people who really think that they stand out in every single way. And the rebels, these are the don't give a fuck types of people, right? We do whatever we want to do. We make our own way. And I think some of that is actually really displayed in how the Titans were behaving or like performing rather in the beginning of this game. Because you definitely had way too many leaders. What is it? Not enough cooks in the kitchen this time, right? Too many chiefs, not enough Indians, as they like to say. Are you still allowed to say that? Yikes.
I've never heard that expression.
Yeah, like there's too many people in charge, not enough soldiers.
Yeah.
Like that.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Right. You can't put too many cooks in the kitchen. Right. It's like the reverse. But yeah, so that's why the Titans lost that one. So the Rebels took the first dup. I don't even remember what that immunity challenge was in that episode. I just know the Titans didn't win it.
I honestly, I don't remember either. I gotta be honest.
I don't. Oh, was that the one with the ball? They had to lift the ball.
Yeah.
Was that the first one? Yes. Which I also didn't think the Rebels were going to win. They were making some pretty bad decisions up at the top of that thing. We had that little torch thing that we had to knock over with the ball coming down the pike here. And like it was all the way on the left, and we're still throwing from the right. Like, oh, I can't believe you missed. Really? You didn't move the ball over. Like,
yeah, but I mean, the Titans couldn't even get it up the ramp,
Which it was really surprised me. Well, again, because everyone wants to be in charge. Everyone can't be in charge.
I also think in that competition, like the strategies were very different. Like the Titans put some of their strongest guys up on the tower. So it was like Jaden and like not as strong people pushing the ball up. You know what I mean? And like it was
there's too many girls. There's too many girls. I'm like, I don't like that, Jaden. I don't really.
Yeah, right. Like I didn't want to say it like that, but like Nathan was up there. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like some of the strongest people because you had Jaden and then like. I don't even remember like who else was down there with him, but
right.
Was not a good strategy. Even JLP made a comment about it, like, it's an interesting strategy by the Titans. All their strong players are up on the top of the tower.
Not sure that's the best decision, but we'll see how this one goes.
Yeah, right.
And it didn't go great. They took the L. And as soon as they got back to camp, Jess started to hold the court. and basically say why she thought this happened, and tried to kind of give a clinic to everybody else about how this was not correct. Um, and this is really where things got interesting, right? We already saw that the cockiness between Nathan, Frankie, and Jaden. You know, they really thought this thing was so buttoned up and locked down, they didn't even need to be part of conversations. They can just be in the water and just hanging out and doing whatever, and like nobody cares. Is anybody with me here? Everybody's looking down, texting, and everything.
I'm
Hello,
listening.
come back. Hello.
No, I was just looking at the competitions over here. I'm listening. Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. So I kind of think one of the really things that kind of put the final nail in this coffin was the conversation that Nathan had with Kitty and Caroline, when he was like, "Oh, you know, if you're voting with us, you know, we want to make sure that Jess goes home, and if you vote with us, we'll carry you through." Like immediately being dismissive of these two ladies here.
Right. How do you know that I need to be carried anywhere? Like, we haven't
Right.
done anything for you to know what my strengths are.
Right. We did 2 challenges, one of which you bungled because you didn't listen to me about lighting this fire too soon. And now you're going to tell me that you're going to carry me through? I don't know, brother. Maybe I'll carry you.
Right. You were the one who screwed us over. So why do I need you to carry me?
Kyle, you missed your calling as a teacher. I'll tell you.
1, 2, 3, eyes on me.
Are you with me? No one's looking up. Everyone's texting.
Hello. Come back to us. What's going on? Are you going to share with the rest of the class? Stupid. But it's true. You can tell I used to be a manager. So there's that. This is actually really a whole conglomeration of Nathan failures, right? Because then he went to Eden and had this conversation with him, basically telling him like how he should vote and how and where he sees people, and he did this as he was
why would he do that? I said as soon as he started like putting his hands like top to bottom, naming people, and named Eden last.
Yes,
at the bottom. Why?
And then other people who I don't even know what their names are. And it's like, wow, you only put me above the people you don't know.
But again, like there's so much to that. Like, how dare you tell me to my face that I'm on the bottom of this? But also, like, you don't know. How do you have a hierarchy already? We've been here for 20 minutes.
Right. We haven't even finished boiling the rice. And they couldn't even boil it, right? Because at this point they didn't even have fire.
Right.
So yeah.
I just like when he started going like, so here's how I see things. Here's me, here's this person, here's this person, here's this person, all the way down to here's you. It's like
right.
Like how do you expect this person to ever trust or work with you ever again?
Absolutely. Oh gosh. And the thing, so I understood obviously the movement now to kind of get against what they were starting to call the strong alliance, like between Jaden, Nathan, and Frankie. But like I still thought it was a little lame that Frankie was the one selected in this. And I kind of blame Jess for that because Jess kept saying we got to get out a strong woman. And it's like, I'm so sick of seeing females not working with females. You know, we all like to have the same conversation and we all being like everyone playing Survivor and discussing it. Like we want to see women going a little bit further. They should stop being discounted. And now we get a woman who's coming right out of the gate trying to send home other women. And it's like, can you stop?
It's like, I don't understand why that's ever a thing because it's like this competition, like Survivor in general, is not like a gendered competition. It's not like you have a man who wins and a woman who wins. So you have to take out all of like the stronger women than you. Like that's not a thing that happens. So I never understand why that is such a thing of like, I am a woman that needs to take out all of the strong women. Why?
Except Liz, that's, you know, she seems to disagree. You know, Liz is saying that getting Frankie out was brilliant. And adding that, you know, she was the brains driving the ship. Maybe, but it's too soon to really say. Like,
it's also, you know, like she's really physically strong, but physical prowess doesn't mean you're gonna win the game. Like, there's so many layers to it that, like, just because you see a strong woman, it's not like, oh, yeah, you gotta get her out. Like, she might be a terrible social player that can like make you look good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she might be malleable and like be something that somebody that you can use until you don't need
what
to
if maybe
anymore.
you
And then she
can
doesn't.
work with her? What if you can convince her to like kind of like work more with the
Right,
women?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, too
she
soon.
she could be like a terrible social player that is malleable for you to use for her competition prowess until you don't need her anymore. And then because her social skills aren't great, you can just cut her. Like, you don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just growing tired of like it's always females to go out first. And it's like, why don't we really do a real shocker here and send Nathan out of here?
Right.
He's an
That's
idiot.
actually
Like,
that was something that I was like confused about, honestly, because like when that group was being targeted, they mentioned Nathan, Jaden, and Frankie, and somehow the consensus landed on we have to get Frankie out. But like, why couldn't it have been Nathan? You know what I
Nathan
mean?
would have
Like,
been an easy one too, because like we just said, he was the one who lost them that first cup. Like
yeah,
his eagerness and not like having the foresight to like think long term is the reason why they lost that competition. So cut him, you know?
right.
right. And
And I
and
just,
he is an idiot. So like he's not
yeah,
gonna add any value to your game long term. Like I understand why
right.
nobody wants to get Jaden out, right? We need the strength. That kind of
Right.
works for us. Leave him in. Leave him in. He's off limits. But like between like Nathan and Frankie, I would have said like, "See you later, Nathan," because you're stupid.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I just like, I don't know. It was bizarre to me that like they immediately flipped on Frankie specifically. Um,
Hmm.
I just like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. I felt like it was way too soon to try to cut somebody like Frankie.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was disappointed with that. Although Liz is making some great points. Again, she thinks it's clear because he is an idiot. They can get him out at any time. Um,
Oh my!
How fun!
Oh my
King
god!
Ferris is here. Hi, hello,
Hi!
and good day. Oh, we're so happy. We're so happy.
Oh
Look at
my
the
god! This is
chat.
amazing.
That's awesome.
Love it, love it, love it. Um, yes, yeah, we'll be getting to the rebels shortly, sir. Right? Goodbye, Frankie.
Bye.
Yeah, we will lament your exit no more. Um, so
We hardly knew ye.
we did. We hardly knew ye. Although John did appreciate your boutique.
Oh yeah, that was very nice. That
Yeah,
was very
that's
nice.
really why
God.
John's upset with Frankie's exit. Because yeah. King Ferris, love you guys. We love you
Oh, we
too.
love
So much, so
you
much.
too.
You're invited to join the chat anytime you want, by the way.
Literally whenever
Not,
you want.
yeah, this is not a closed conversation. So,
Join the chat, join the stream, come hang out,
right.
please.
Oh yeah, when I meant join the chat, I don't mean over there on the chat. Like,
like right
yeah,
here.
yeah, we get to see your face. We get to see your face. So the second episode, like, where are we at with that? Another Titans failure. They suck, huh? They were supposed to be. I'd say they were supposed to be the front runners, right? The Titans. But let's see. I did think that it was smart that Eden and Mark kind of allowed Jess to feel like they were kind of running the show. That she was running the show rather. Like Jess, you made these decisions to make sure that Frankie got out of here and blah blah blah. I don't care for the invisible hand name. It's kind of annoying because I see what you're trying to do there, but it's like not fun. When you think
It reminds me of Smash Brothers.
oh, you're Smash
Super
Brothers.
Smash
It reminds me of,
Brothers.
what is it? Adam's Family or the Munsters with the hand.
Oh, it's Adam's Family, yeah.
The Munsters.
It reminds me of the invisible hand from Super Smash Brothers. So I did like it.
Yeah, I didn't love that. I am down for the middle-aged mafia though. That's really fun. That's really, really fun. I feel like that's something that I would have come up with. Yeah, thing. So I think they're fun. I think they're going to be a lot of fun to watch. Like I would like to see Eden and Mark kind of go deeper in this thing. They're very exciting. And then Nathan had pitched Eden to Jess. Jess really. There's really no version of like Jess that I was enjoying.
She got really comfortable really quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why she thought she was so like top dog. And it's like, honestly, had it not been for Nathan and his shenanigans, basically putting down everybody else, acting like they weren't anything, you were the one that was supposed to go. But it was only because of Nathan and his, faux hierarchy that kind of pissed people off.
Yeah.
And then telling people that you're going to carry them along. That's the only reason why her elimination was delayed. Like, otherwise, like, you were going to be first boot.
Well, I do think that the invisible hand of
Had a
Eden
hand.
and Mark, I think that they did have a part in this because, like, Jess thought that she made up that move for Frankie, and Mark and Eden specifically like made sure that like Jess felt like they were giving credit for that to her. And I think that they were kind of like, blowing her head up a little bit, being like, yeah, that was such a crazy move. How did you do that? Like, that was amazing how you pulled that off. So I feel like they kind of like fed into her ego a little bit. And that's why she felt as cocky and as confident as she did.
Yes. But oh, definitely. It definitely added to it. But I mean, she did arrive at us with this cockiness. Like, that isn't really where it began.
Right.
If anything, the seed was already planted, and Eden and Mark kind of came over and just tossed some water on top of her. And like,
I don't understand what about how that went down led her to believe like, oh, I'm running it. It's like, why do you think that? Like, I just don't understand why you all
why
like
did you
you
think
feel so untouchable, like right from
right?
the get.
Even in the tribal at the end of that, when they were like, she's like, no, I absolutely did that. That was all me. And it's like, ew. Like, you're even that cocky in this moment with these people you just met less than a week ago. You're so confident to kind of put yourself forward as like this leader. Like,
and to just like throw out names left, right, and center at tribal too. Like, I always forget that like in Australia, we're way more comfortable calling people out by name in tribal council. So I'm like never ready for it. It always makes me like really stressed out. But like she, like, no bones about it. She was like, I will tell you exactly who I want to go home, and you're gonna do it because I'm running the game. And it's like, this is our second time here. Like, what?
Right.
Why? What is happening?
Right. So strange. So strange. I don't get it.
But I do see. I do think that like the invisible hand whole alliance. Like, I know you don't love the name, Kyle, but I feel like that was smart by them because I do think they had a big part in boosting.
I just don't like the name. I don't have any problem with what they're doing. I agree that
Right.
they're very smart. They're going to go far in this thing. I just don't like the name. That's all.
I do think that they were instrumental though in like Jess's decision making because I feel like they like boosted her so much and boosted her ego that I felt like that was the whole thing. Like, even when they were ready to vote her out, like they were saying like, oh, we need Jess to put a name forward, so that like even when they knew that they wanted her voted out next, they were like, we need to talk to Jess, we need her to get her to say a name. Because then we can pin all the blame on her when the tribe turns against her. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like they were already planning that. So I feel like they really are like controlling things in that tribe right now.
No, there's no objection to any of that. I agree with all of that. I think I've been pretty consistent and actually agreeing with that train of thought. I just don't like the name. Although I am going to enjoy doing this. So like because it doesn't matter which way you come. It's very fun to do. So that's how we lose Jess. Bye.
Yeah.
Sorry, girl.
Later, Jess.
We barely knew ye, and I don't really need to see you again. That's it. We won't be wishing for your return. And that's that. At some point in there, Winna found the idol.
Oh, right. Yes.
I remember nothing.
Was that like he like bit into a banana and was like,
yes, that's what it was. It was from that reward challenge.
How did they get a clue in the banana? Is my what do we mean?
And how did it not get noticed as you're tossing it out? You don't feel a lump in there or something, which it does make some. Oh, right, because that was the reward challenge. It had that tug of war and had that big chest and everything. Then they go back and forth, and it's like, all right, you won. bananas. And I was like, I would have been fucking pissed.
That was when the women were like, that was like one of the hardest like back and forth. Like they were fighting
and I was
hard.
like,
and
all of that for bananas.
I would have been like,
and it's like, all
not
right, well, this
me
makes some sense
gassing
now.
myself out for a banana. Like, get the
Right.
hell out of here.
I've been so angry, so angry.
You see, I don't think I would have noticed any bump in the banana or anything like that. But what I really want to know is, how did they unpeel that banana?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how
Put no. Yeah, exactly. How did they unpeel the banana, stick a clue inside the banana, and then peel it back up to the point where Winna would have to now repeel the banana without it looking like it had already been peeled?
Without peeling it.
Unless they just stuck it, like they didn't really fully unpeel it. They just kind of shoved it, they stuck it through the peel.
I feel like you'd still notice.
You would
when you're
think.
like divvying out the bananas.
But then like he didn't even notice biting into it. So like,
yeah.
Right.
Like,
he literally stood there. You have to unpeel all 4 corners of the banana and then bite into it, and there was no evidence that it was ever tampered with.
I mean, clearly not. I mean,
he said he didn't notice until he like felt something hot.
Until it was in his mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so they must have really done something like fantastic around that. If we ever get
Very curious.
I would love to know.
Question number 1.
That. Exactly.
What do you mean you found it?
Tell me about this banana and this item that you found in there.
If we ever interview JLP, my first question is going to be, how did you hide that clue in Winna's banana?
I don't actually think I could be a part of the stream if we ever get to interview JLP. I mean, I had a crush.
That was Kyle's first love.
Right. JLP is the whole reason I discovered what gay was. So I can't. I'd have to be absent. Absent. Roll call. Nothing. Crickets. So I think that's it for episode 2. We got Winna and his idol. Episode 3 is where Peeta finds hers. She found hers, which gave her that extra boost of confidence, really going into her demise.
Which I have so much to say about that too, but I'll save it for when we get to tribal.
Oh, okay, yeah, we won't. It won't take long to get there.
Yeah, I'll bookmark that.
Yeah, it won't take long to get there. So Peeta and Alex are really ones that kind of led the charge to throw the immunity challenge because they have just been so irritated by Kelly and Raymond, which. Liz Bluth telling us that there's always money in the banana stand. I mean, that is, everything about that is brilliant. I mean, do you guys know Arrested Development?
Oh no, I knew it was something, but I didn't know what she was referencing.
Yes, I thought that is absolutely brilliant. Certainly don't want to be that waylaid, but like just know that was very clever and like very, very smart. We appreciate that. At least I do. Thank you so much. There is in the banana stand. And Sir Nanas would also thank you for that analogy. Okay, so like we love that. That's fantastic. So they want to throw this immunity challenge because they want Kelly out of here. There's a part of me that gets it. Kelly does seem like a wee bit of an irritant. The way she's always screaming and wooing all over the place, and
yeah, she definitely came in hot in a very different way. Like she's a lot.
She is a lot. Yeah, I could see that kind of like irritating me a bit. I definitely want to sit back and say, hey, I'm really gonna need some silence right now, love. And she was also like, do I want to do this?
Uh-oh.
Let's do it. There is a weird double standard when it comes to like just sexuality and things that we're allowed to say as people. And I definitely feel like the way that she was speaking, even about Nathan, about like, oh, like maybe a night with him can be a reward and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, I just need one night.
Right. There's certain things that she's talking about when she's talking about other people's packages and like how good it looks. And let me see when your underwear and things like that. This would never be accepted if a man said this to a female. And I certainly understand the power dynamic around that. Like I get it. I'm not saying I don't understand it, but like it also should not be okay.
No, I agree. Yeah.
And like I could see being uncomfortable, especially because like she is like, also don't want to be rude, but I mean, she does appear to be significantly older than the people that she's making these comments about. Like, I feel like if she was saying these things about Garrick, it's like, okay, at least he feels more like a peer.
I feel like it doesn't matter. Just don't say things like that about anybody
No, I
ever.
know
Like,
that you shouldn't be saying it at all, but if you're gonna say it, at least let it be somebody that's like your own age. Like everything about it was like so inappropriate, except JLP did give us a fun moment when she had made that comment about letting the reward be like for Nathan. She's like, isn't that a reward? He goes, yeah, I guess so. Almost like a reward for who?
right.
Like what a prize. Right? Like, and I don't remember exactly how that exchange went, but like you're laughing because you caught it too.
Yes.
And he was just like, yeah, okay.
Sure. All right.
You're right. I guess it depends on what you think a prize is.
Yeah.
Very fun. Very, very fun.
And it's funny in a game context like this too, because while, certain players might not be comfortable with it, like, generally, once that competition ended and Nathan and Jaden were back in the water, back at camp, Jaden made a comment to Nathan being like, hey, did you hear the girls being like, oh, like, are you single? They're like, oh, like, that might mean if there's a tribe swap or at merge, we might have numbers. So it's funny because in the real world, I totally agree. It's totally inappropriate and unacceptable. But like in a game setting like this, it's funny to see the people on the receiving end being like, "This might help my game."
It depends though, because it also could be a liability. Like now, I might feel like I have to encourage something that I wouldn't want to because are you going to cut me if I don't? You know?
Yeah.
You have now rejected my advances.
There's like a power dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It feels weird, especially if you're looking to make that alliance because now you are in the minority. Yeah, you definitely might say, like, okay, I want to respond to some of this stuff because yeah, didn't feel great. So there's that on Kelly. I guess we'll put that there.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Yeah. Okay. So, Kirby had kind of named, this little group of people like the PETA, Alex, and who else? I guess Tobias and Sarah, the Cuddle Crew, which I like. I like alliteration, so I'm certainly here for
It's
that.
a cute name.
It's really, really fun. Really fun. And Garrison, King Ferris had clocked the fact that it felt like some people were up to some trickeries, some tomfoolery here.
Up to some trickeries.
And you could see it in Garrick when they were trying to push that sled during the immunity challenge. Like, what's going on? Come on, what's happening? Like Garrick is really not here for the nonsense. This is a lost.
He doesn't like shenanigans.
No, he does not. He likes everything to be very straightforward. He's going to sniff out your bollocks. Okay,
your bollocks.
He's not gonna have it. And again, this is all really just leading the charge to make sure they got Kelly out of here. And yeah, I don't think there's really anything more there. Peter and Alex wanted to split the vote between Kelly and Raymond just to make sure that one of them left. I don't really remember anything else from episode 3 that would really, really like super stood out. Liz is saying she loves Raymond. Why?
Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen enough of him to have like an opinion.
Yeah. He's coming off as a little clueless to me. I'm remembering a conversation that happened around the water.
Well,
where Peter and Alex were kind of having this discussion about wanting Kelly Alec. I don't know that he was there necessarily for that portion of it, but like he definitely said, "Oh, I'm going to go back and talk to Kelly and like see what she's thinking or whatever." Like I don't. It seemed like very strange, the whole thing.
Well, I think so. The part of the reason that Liz was saying this about Raymond and Matt as well, saying Raymond is a ray of light, is because during that like competition that they had in the water in the cage where you had to climb up, they had a round where the Rebels sent in Tobias and Alex, and the Titans sent in Jaden and Nathan, and it was a very physical matchup. And once it was over, they all were like hugging each other. JLP made a comment like, "Oh, there's a bro hug session going on," after the round.
Mhm.
And then Raymond whispered to Ferris, saying like, "That's definitely going to be like a bros alliance if they like make it to merge." So like it was, and I think that to Raymond's credit is like a good observation of being like, hey, let's not forget about
Yeah,
these
yeah, yeah.
guys because they're, it's 2 and 2 different tribes, but this is clearly like a very strong 4-person alliance if they all make it to merge together.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So consider me excited to see a little bit more of Raymond then. Who drafted him?
I did.
Team Morgino. Are you feeling a little bit more proud about to say your selection, but you didn't select him?
Yeah, technically, yeah, Raymond and Kitty were who I was
Right.
given. But
That is
again, we did it based on no information,
right.
so
We knew
you know.
absolutely nothing. Let's talk about Kirby. Let's talk about Kirby. It was really Miss Kirby that kind of was like clocking a lot of this Cuddle Crew alliance, right? And knew that we had to kind of make a move against them, and was really instrumental in spearheading that charge, like against PETA, and kind of making a move against them. What I now question, because the way this whole thing ended, because of course, Peter and Alex and friends, basically again had agreed that we were going to be splitting the votes between Kelly and Raymond. I think it was like supposed to be a 4-3, 4 on Kelly and 3 on Raymond, to ensure that one of them goes. And Kirby, even though the tide was shifting and now we were going to be putting this vote on PETA, Kirby still said, you know what, I don't want the Cuddle Crew to think that I'm not working with them. So I'm going to still vote with them, even though I know that we have the numbers to get PETA out. What did you think about that decision? Do you support it? Do you think that was good for Kirby?
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting because I'm like torn on it almost. Like I get why she would want to make that decision to kind of cover herself, but it's so early that like how do you communicate that to the rest of the tribe? You know, like I don't know. Like it's like how does anybody really know how you voted? Like there's still
Right, yeah.
like how do you take credit for that move? Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was kind of where that's why I didn't really have an opinion one way or the other, because it's like you can tell anybody that you voted with them unless someone's sitting there like counting out the votes. There's still like full tribes here, so it's not like you can really know for sure. So I don't think it really mattered. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's too soon to be playing that way. I see what she thought she was doing there, but I think
Yeah.
what it could also serve to do is now cause somebody like King Ferris to now not trust you as much. If we do shake down these votes and we now do, I have faith that you did vote with the Cuddle Crew. All that tells me this is the very, very first vote. I think in the
Yeah.
beginning you do need to choose a side a little bit. You got to
I
be.
forgot this was their first. Yeah.
Yeah, this was their first. You need to build trust somewhere. And now, if I was in the Cuddle Crew, I don't know. Do I trust the other side to not share that you were instrumental in creating this movement? And do I really trust the other side to now think that you're actually working with me? I wouldn't know what to think of you now, and you'd be a little hands off to me. Because now it almost looks like you're talking out of both sides of your mouth, because there has not been any demonstrated actions of trust that to kind of like to really like, I don't know, to validate this.
Yeah.
Thank you, King. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I think this is gonna be interesting to kind of see how that one plays out. Because if it were me, I'd be like, you know what? Okay, I'm hearing you, but anytime you say something, I'm gonna have to go check in. I'm gonna have to go check in. This scramble is not gonna be about me trying to protect myself. It'd be checking on you. Yeah, a little loose, too early, in my opinion. But
No, that's fair.
We'll certainly say I've never been on the island. I've never played this. So what do I know? But I do think this was the most satisfying of blindsides, because I have never seen a more confident and entitled group of people so early in the game.
And I like, this is kind of what I was gonna say before when I was like, no, save it. Obviously Alex like didn't see this coming. You could tell by his reaction when, you know, the vote was the vote, that he like
Mhm.
wasn't really expecting this. But he, unless I'm mistaken, was the only other person who knew about PETA's idol.
Mhm.
And they were having that conversation where he straight up said, like, no one was saying any names. No one was like really saying it. It was all very cryptic. But he made that comment where he was like, I think that if anybody has an idol right now, because there's so much back and forth, and you don't really know who to trust, you don't really know what's going on. If I had an idol, I would say it's probably in anybody's best interest to play that idol if they have it. So now,
He
if
was
I'm,
literally speaking to her.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, he
Yeah.
clearly did not know that she was the target because he was
Mhm.
shocked when the votes were read. But if I'm PETA and I know that you are the only person that knows that I have an idol, and you are the person speaking up saying, I think that if somebody were to have an idol, you'd probably want to play it right now. I would take that and be like, oh, I absolutely need to play this idol. Like, he is trying to
Mhm.
communicate to me that he has heard something, maybe like right before tribal, that he didn't have time to communicate with me. He's trying to warn me of something.
Yep.
Like, even if he
Yep.
wasn't,
Yeah.
that's exactly how I would perceive it. I am 100% playing that idol.
Right.
It
Absolutely.
shocked me that she didn't.
Right. It was, and that just speaks to her, like, just overreaching confidence in this moment. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is the person who you've already aligned your game with, and he is insinuating that, like, he's talking to you. He knows you have an idol.
Right.
So why wouldn't you do it? So there's that. And I think it's also important. So Liz had mentioned it, like, oh yeah, yes. And then Ferris had countered that argument.
Mhm.
There was a moment, and I don't remember everything like verbatim, but there was a moment that I almost felt like Ferris was over speaking, and I was like, "Shh!" I'm like, "You're gonna tip her off." Oh, because he said something like, "Some people need to be put in their place," and I was like, "No, don't say that." I'm like, "You're gonna tip her off." That, like, you might be talking about her because, like, who else in this game needs to be put in their place? It certainly isn't Kelly. She's not acting out of pocket, right? It's like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, you're going to spill the beans and you're going to make her play this idol that obviously he didn't know that she had.
Right.
I do think that later on in that tribal conversation, he did kind of cover that back. He had a way of doubling that back that made me feel a bit more comfortable, but I
Mhm.
still think it would have set off alarm bells. But again, it speaks to how just incredibly cocky Peter was,
I was
that even
floored
in
that she
that,
didn't play her
I
idol.
couldn't believe it, except that I was not super surprised because, like, JLP had already spoiled me on the Soul, so I already knew. I already knew she was going. Um,
Even like
yeah,
like props to the editors on this one too, because they showed her like moving, like shifting in her seat, looking like she was about to be like, I have something, and then she just kind of like
mhm,
shifted and like sat back
and
down. And
just
I was
step
like,
back. It's like, wow,
but what do you
you're
mean?
insane. Crazy. You're crazy.
Do you know what's
Yeah,
funny
your
too about
survival to go home with an idol in your pocket is, I
Ugh.
think, this A1 total embarrassment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
You know it's funny too because
Yikes.
like we saw Jess and how cocky she was in her tribal, where she got sent out, and then we see PETA, and it's like Jess, while she wasn't even really the one, like the mastermind necessarily behind like the Frankie
Mhm.
elimination, like at least she had something to hold on to be like, I made this move, and she had people saying like, you made this move. PETA had never even been to a tribal council before, went in there so cocky. It's like,
Mhm.
what makes you think that you have like all this power and all
Right.
of this like that? What makes you think you have a leg to stand on here?
Yeah.
You've never even been in this phase of the game.
What gives
Like
you the right?
exactly. Who do you think
Think
you
you
are?
are. Oh my goodness. I will say the only unsatisfying part of all three of these blind sides is that these Australians are just so damn nice at the end of things. Like, no one leaves with an attitude. They're like, all
Right.
right, enjoy the game, guys. Love you. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, in
We saw
America, we're
like
like,
5 times, literally 5 times in our US season in 45. They were all like, I'm not speaking to any of these people after I leave. Like,
exactly. Fuck you guys.
like giving dirty looks from the jury.
I just-
Yeah.
No, they're just so nice. They're so gracious. But all right, well, I guess I lost. And it's like, yo, That
You
would
got
never
me.
happen. Exactly. You got me so goodly. It's like that would never happen in America.
No.
Like no.
But you see,
That hasn't
the funny thing, like the funny thing about like the comparison of this is that like
Mhm.
while the people are nastier in the like U.S. reality TV shows, like the drama often isn't as good. The Australians are nicer to each other, and like they still do the
Cutthroat.
shows better. The drama is still better.
Because they understand a game is a game and I'm here to play a game.
Right.
But I'm not going to be nasty to you on the way out. It just would be a little bit more satisfying as a viewer to see some nastiness on the way out. In America, you're not really nasty in the game. You're just being really, really sneaky and you just get 30 seconds of fireworks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want a nice mix of both. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, Liz. Yeah, absolutely. You know, Garrick and Ferris absolutely clocked that they were throwing it.
They didn't do a good job of throwing it at all. Not at all.
Mm-mm. But again, they just think they're just so much smarter than everyone else. Like, yeah, gross. So that's that, right? That's week 1.
Yeah, I think that's
Week 1 in Samoa.
I have to say, a trend that I have not enjoyed is that we've gotten 3 episodes and 3 women have left.
Yeah, I could do without that.
Yeah, I will say that that's something that right off the bat in week 1 we have 24 people, 12 and 12, and we've lost 3 women right off the bat. I don't like that at all, and I hope that changes week 2. I hope that we start picking off some of these guys. Not Ferris though, because we love Ferris.
Never Ferris. Okay, Ferris to the end.
Ferris was the first person drafted from this season.
No, absolutely. I knew I wanted him from the very, very beginning. That's why I was so happy I got to pick first.
The immediate
Ferris,
draft pick.
yes.
Off the board.
No, absolutely. No, I was going to be really, really mad if I didn't get him. So no.
Ferris. Ferris.
4.
Yeah, buckle up for episode 4 with 4
I can't wait to see why.
fire icons. I'm excited. Thank you, Ferris, by the way, for hanging out and watching us.
Yeah.
I can't believe you showed up. Thanks so much,
How
man.
fun.
Thank you. Yeah. Can't wait to chat with you more about all this stuff. I do agree with Matt also. Well, Ferris, not Raymond. I can't say I'm super endeared towards him. I don't know enough yet.
It's too soon. Too soon.
But yeah, Ferris and Eden, I definitely do not want to see go out anytime soon. I'm really, really enjoying Eden.
Yeah.
Smart, giving me really, really fun confessionals. I'm super, super entertained by him. I want more just movie quotes and things like that.
Yes.
Yes, he's super, super fun. And I also love his shirt. These pretzels are making me thirsty. Like, did you
That's a Seinfeld reference.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch it.
Oh, didn't know that.
Ferris also says, thank you, Ferris.
Ferris.
Love the podcast, guys. Looking forward to more. Thank you, Ferris.
Love that.
You are so much more than welcome to hang out anytime you want.
Man. Yeah, man. Be so blessed. We're here every Thursday, our time. That's Friday, your time. Matt wants to know winner picks / predictions.
Oh, it's so early.
I mean, it's pretty clear what I want to happen.
Well,
we already discussed. He was my first draft pick. I mean, it was
Ferris.
There was no. Yeah, there's no anything. Like, I mean, I'm pretty transparent in this house.
Well, I will tell you that I would be very happy with a Ferris win. You both know that I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, and I love Eden. So if he won, I would be very happy with that.
Wouldn't be mad at that. Nope, I'd be fine with that.
God, predictions.
I know it's so hard to say. It's
so hard to make any predictions.
Yeah.
There's so much.
No
left
idea.
to go. There's so much left. Let's just look at the teams again. We'll start with Gina's. All right. Just even looking at Gina's team, I mean, just from what we know now, I mean, Kirby came to play, right?
Yes.
There's certainly there's certainly a road for Kirby, right? She's not there just to hang out and cook rice, right? I don't ever think that you should count out the middle-aged people. you know,
Mhm.
your Kitties and Carolines, and because like as much as we want to say like competitions are super important, it really comes down to that social game. You're looking
Right.
to what? Outwit, outplay, and outlast. There's no reason why these ladies couldn't do that. You
I
don't
mean,
have
look
to
at Mama
win
J.
competitions to do that. Exactly. So like, I don't know, a lot of potential there. You look at
You mentioned middle aged, by the way. What do you think? Because we
Mhm.
talk about the invisible hand and like for alliance names. What do you think about the whole middle aged mafia
Oh,
thing?
Kyle already said he loves it.
Oh, yeah, we reviewed
Oh,
that.
did we already talk about that? I don't even
Yeah,
remember.
I love that name. The Middle-Aged Mafia. I'm totally here for that.
I forgot we even talked about that.
Your Mark, Eden, Caroline and Kitty. Absolutely. And you get a group of them together. If they can stick together, there's no reason why they couldn't make it.
Sure.
Because they're not going to be looked at as threats because
Yeah,
they are the middle-aged people. But like if you stay as a strong four, as a voting force, that can take you pretty far. I mean, like
Mhm.
that's
I
huge.
think. Yeah, Kitty and Caroline, especially, I think, are very underestimated because they're looked at as like older
Right.
people, older
Mhm.
women. But I think they're a lot stronger than people realize.
I think they're a lot stronger, and I think they actually came to play the social game as well. They don't strike me as like layups in any way. I don't think they're idiots. So I'm excited to see more from them. No, you can't count them out.
Yeah.
Um, John's team, I mean, like obviously we already talked about Eden.
Mhm.
Winner seems like one of those people who can kind of like I don't want to say fly under the radar, but he seems very, very likable. There's something like kind of charming about him.
And he's
Mhm.
Um,
got an idol.
he's got an idol,
Right.
right? People may not look at him. I think Sarah over in the Rebels, just from her affiliation with the Cuddle Crew, could just be maybe someone who gets picked off. It'll be interesting to kind of see what she does after this kind of
Yeah.
blindside here. We don't know
She
Scott
could go
again.
yeah, I think that Sarah could go soon, but she could also
She
like
could turn
if
things
she
around
plays it
very early.
if she plays it smart, like she could fly under the radar for a little bit and last a little bit. But I wouldn't be surprised if she was gone within the next like few episodes, honestly.
Right. That's kind of a toss up. Eileen, I don't know. After she did that whole water cage thing and got
Mhm.
herself out and kind of and beat that thing. I don't know. Maybe people will kind of see some more value in her because again, everyone is always looking at this physical strength in the beginning, um, and she certainly displayed that she's no toss away.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, and on my team, I think there's a lot of potential here. Mark being
So
the other
you
half
got a
of the.
solid team.
I got a great team. I do. I got a great team. Um, Mark, obviously being the other half of the invisible hand, that'll be interesting to see play out. I don't think we've seen a lot of Charles just yet. Um,
Mm-mm.
we saw a lot of celebrating with him during the what's it called? That one reward challenge when the whole tug of war. He was certainly
Mhm.
happy to
Yeah.
have that on his end.
Mark
Again,
was like very good with the swimming, by the way, too.
yes,
And that's he like there was no tackling. He swam straight to the net, climbed up it, and left. And I think he's
um,
very, very persuasive, very smart. I think Mark can go very far in this game.
absolutely, absolutely. Um, Garrick, we've already said this man's no dummy. So that'll be interesting, especially if he makes it to post merge and he gets to now link up with this middle-aged mafia, he's going to fit right in.
Mhm.
Who
Yeah.
wouldn't want
I,
him?
I like Garrick. Yeah. I like
Yeah,
Garrick a lot. He
Alex, whatever.
clearly smart. Yeah.
Yeah, the hell with Alex. Unless there's some world in which like King Ferris kind of starts working with him. Although
I don't know.
they may like
I feel like
otherwise.
I feel like his cocky attitude is gonna catch up to him sooner rather than later. I don't know. I feel like people aren't
I
gonna
agree.
wanna.
Unless this blind side humbles him.
Sure.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
who knows?
I don't know if it will though. I don't know.
I'm trying to be diplomatic. It's not actually what I
No,
think
I
is
mean
going to
it's a
happen.
possibility, you know?
It is. Anything's possible.
Because he was
In the
very
world of
openly shook.
survival. Yes, absolutely. Kelly, who knows? People like Kelly, even though people get irritated with a personality type like that, they also tend to not see people like her as a threat.
Right, like,
Just
you
choose
never know.
the
She could
plan.
have, like, a Carolyn kind of path, you know? Like, you
Exactly.
really don't know.
You don't know. You don't know. And Valeria and Viola, I mean, they're already referring to them as like this too. No one's speaking of them in an individual fashion. So, like, to
Mhm.
Yeah,
kind of already be in that situation, if people don't start to see them as a major threat and they see them as people they can continue to work with,
Right, that could
that's
go
what's
either way.
yeah, it can, because when you're a two, it's like, ooh, these are two votes either for
Right.
me or against me. It depends on, not to use Gina's words, depends on how malleable you appear to the
It's a
rest of the
good word.
tribe. Yeah, it is. It's fantastic.
they almost feel like the Shawnee and Liz of this season.
Okay.
And that very well could be. And see, and
Yes.
they went far into the game. So yeah, it's very early. It's very hard to say. Very hard to say. Um, I think that's it, right? Oh, Liz wants it. Did we talk about her dramatic overacting? I guess, oh, we're talking about Kelly,
Yeah.
and trying to now act like, very, very scared.
She was when she's sitting on the beach, like, "Someone comfort me, I'm nervous." I was like, "Kelly, shut the fuck up." Like, what just
Kelly, shut up. But I also, part of me wondered how much of that was it overacted? Was it a mix of both? I think
I
she was a
don't
little
know.
shooketh at the same time. I think some of it was an act and some of it wasn't.
'Cause people kept coming up to her and she was like, "No, I'm pretending to be really stressed out." And they were like, "Maybe don't do that so much.
Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe stop."
Maybe give that another think and circle back.
I was laughing so hard too, like,
Circle
you're
back.
I'm doing too much. You're doing too much.
Doing way
She's like,
much.
Am I doing too much?" Stop it.
You arrived at us doing too much. I'll have you know. Oh, silly, silly, silly. All right. So what's next for Strat Chat? We're back with you on Monday at
Yeah.
7 p.m. Eastern. We're talking about the Traders US. I'm catching up on that. Did you guys watch that in between the break, or did you just
I
kind
did
of
not.
recap
I'm
on it
gonna watch it tomorrow.
tomorrow?
Or
Wow,
not tomorrow, Sunday.
strong.
It's when
Whoa!
I don't have time to do it tomorrow. I'm tired right
Whoa!
now. I'm gonna watch on Sunday.
I'm not
I'm
gonna watch it
watching
tonight. I'm gonna watch it at the end of the weekend. Whoa!
as soon as we get off here, I'm watching it.
Oh no,
I mean,
I
I'm
gotta
at
do
least
midnight.
gonna
I gotta work in the
start it.
morning.
Although there is a world in which
I got work in the morning too.
I work in the morning too, but my night is probably going to end with the Golden Girls. Like, who are we kidding? The Golden Girls are friends. But any Hoosers, we will be here at 7 p.m. Eastern on Monday to talk about the Traders US, tonight's episode. And then after that, we'll back at 8 o'clock on next Thursday. What will that be? Thursday the 8th. 8 o'clock, talking about the Challenge 39. Still out here doing the Lord's work, carrying that torch for those who won't. Because this season of the challenge has been a challenge. But we're still out here doing it. And then, of course, 10:15 p.m. Eastern, 2:15 AEDT on the Friday, discussing Australian Survivor. So yeah, really, really excited to be talking this show again.
Yeah.
Definitely one of my favorites. You can catch up on everything we're doing on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. Anything else for the benefit of the community?
I think that's all I got.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Excellent. Thank you all for hanging out tonight. Thank you, of course, to King Ferris for hanging out with us tonight. What a
Absolutely.
lovely, lovely surprise. Thank you so much. And
Hell
we're
yeah.
out of here. We'll see you all next week.